Welcome back to Big Movie Mouth Off, the podcast where three Salt Lake City-based film critics talk about film. I'm Jeff Counts.
I'm Adam McDonald.
And I'm Brooks Bird.
So, guys, everybody out there, we haven't done a show in a very long time. It's been a couple of months. That's completely the fault of my day job, which makes my summers a no-go zone for movie watching, let alone talking about movies. So thank you for being patient with me.
I don't know. I think we have to publicly shame you.
Well,
yeah. I mean, that's only the busy season.
Aren't I doing it to myself a little bit right now? A little bit of
Summer's only, nothing comes out during the summer.
No, I did manage to go see one of the films we're going to talk about. I also wanted to mention that I came back to the show just in time for Hollywood to be completely on fire.
Shut down.
Yeah. It's like my timing couldn't be worse.
One extreme to the other.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, you didn't miss much. It was kind of there were some good movies this summer, but I mean, the last month was
the only
nothing.
one who's seen Ninja Turtles. So.
I definitely missed Barbie. I definitely missed Turtles. I did see Oppenheimer, which we'll get to.
Obviously, yeah.
But I wasn't able to talk to you guys about it. So on the show today, we're going to talk about Oppenheimer, even though it came out months ago. We're going to talk about A Haunting in Venice. It's coming out as we record in a few days. And then we'll do our guilty pleasures. Bad adaptation, because both of the films we're talking about were adaptations, and there's so many good ones in Hollywood. I want to hear from you guys about terrible ones, because there are many of those too. Then we'll do our coming attractions. I'm super excited to be back with you guys. Let me say for the record before we go, I made a comment about what's happening in Hollywood. I'll let you guys speak for yourself, but personally, I stand with the writers and the actors. I hope the studios get their crap together and get this sorted.
Amen.
Oh, definitely. And so it was really interesting. I learned some stuff because I love being the expert at things. So
You?
I know me, right? The magic judge? Right. It was a long story. Anyways, last night was weird. So the studios did come out a couple weeks ago to the writers and say, hey, here's this new contract for you. One of the parts of it was that we will give you AI-generated scripts that you punch up or redo, and we'll pay you full price. So it's like, hey, you know what, Jeff, here's his script. Yeah. Punch it up. I'm going to give you $1 million like you wrote it yourself. Do you know why they have to do that? Why that's important to them?
Why?
Because anything that's produced by AI cannot be copyrighted.
Oh, right. Right.
So
I did see that.
So let's say we make Batman 29 by AI and we put it out there, unless a human has touched it and done things to it, it's immediately public domain.
So they're just using the humans to get their copyright protection.
So that's why they were pushing that. But what's really interesting last night was the WGA told the studios, like, hey, just, like the whole studio coalition, if you guys don't want to bargain with us, that's fine. We'll go to individual studios.
I love the idea of them breaking it up and going to – because A24 is still working.
They're still doing just fine.
They're still working. They met the demands. They have no problem paying people what they're worth, and they're still making films. And the actors and the writers guilds are both okay with that. So I think they should break it apart, deal with them individually. I love it.
And for people out there who are like, oh, Hollywood movie stars and writers make – okay, look, yes, there are, of course, like your Tom
really
Cruises.
about them.
Exactly. Most people are like us, working day-to-day jobs, maybe middle class.
Absolutely.
Write it in coffee shops.
Yeah. A buddy of mine worked on Daredevil Season 3 as a writer, and he's still bussing tables.
Of course.
So just keep in mind that, yes, there are people out there who are the Tom Cruises and the Michelle Pfeiffers.
It's not about them.
No, it's about the everyday people like you and I who are just have a different type of job. So if you think it's all about A-listers, this and that, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, writers –
quit reading headlines.
Exactly. Writers, actors, including A-listers, we're with you.
And listen to us and not Rotten Tomatoes.
Absolutely. All right, let's jump in, guys. The first thing we're going to do, as I mentioned, is we're going to talk about Oppenheimer because we've all been excited about it for well over a year.
What?
Oppenheimer.
Who directed
which one?
it?
It's a film by Christopher Nolan.
Oh, yeah.
Before we do that, though, how about a little bit of the trailer?
We have a 12-month head start.
18.
How could you possibly know that?
We've got one hope. All America's industrial might and scientific innovation connected here. A secret laboratory. Keep everyone there until it's done.
Let's go recruit some scientists.
Okay, Adam, take us through the story.
So this is based off the biography about Oppenheimer. It's called American Prometheus. It basically follows his life from almost a kid to an adult, making the atomic bomb, and then also, of course, the famous test at Los Alamos, which I grew up on Los Alamos Street, and I had no clue what it was as a kid. And then kind of the political fallout afterwards, because he was, he had friends in the – that wasn't intentional, trust me.
Barf.
No, but he had friends who were in the Communist Party. This is kind of when the Red Scare was going on. And, the only thing America likes more than a hero is someone they can put down. But it stars Cillian Murphy. He is Robert Oppenheimer. Fantastic job, of course, like he always is. Full star-studded cast. I mean, you got Robert Downey Jr. as kind of his nemesis, as the senator, which I didn't know was him for like the first hour of the movie.
I know. They really changed his look.
Because half the movie is in black and white and half in color.
Right.
Downey Jr.?
I didn't recognize him at first.
Really?
He looks so different. I'm used to seeing him with like the goatee and
As
everything
Iron
else.
Man.
He definitely does not look like Tony Stark in this
No.
film.
Yeah, so it's flashing back and forth between what led up to Los Alamos, what happened afterwards, his interviews with the CIA and FBI, and then also, of course, like the trial and everything else. So it's very, very time jumpy, which Nolan likes to do.
Of course.
But yeah, all-star cast. Emily Blunt is his wife. Matt Damon's there.
Matt Damon is the general that he works with.
Damon.
Yeah.
Florence Pugh. I mean, it's such a star-studded cast. And what's great is, like Robert Downey Jr., they disappear into their characters.
Oh, yeah.
Like, of course, you know, Cillian Murphy's Oppenheimer. We know that, but the average person who's not as familiar with his work, but they're just there.
Yeah.
And that's
Even
the
Gary
highest-
Oldman.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a very short Gary Oldman bit, which is fantastic. I mean, we're going to forget to mention cast people because there's just so many. It's a huge cast. And I'm glad you talked about the two sort of parallel tracks of this story. There's a black and white story and there's a color story. Nolan chose to demarcate them in that very visual way, which I thought was interesting. But the two things that are happening at the same time, and they're in different times, are the development and the building of the bomb. That's happening in color. And in black and white, you're seeing basically the dismantling of his reputation by the
This is the
government.
fallout.
Exactly. So those two things are happening in concert. And like a Chris Nolan movie, they ping back and forth between them freely. I will say that also like a good Chris Nolan movie, you never lose your place. You're always right where he wants you to be. He is an absolute master at keeping multiple plates spinning. People are going to have plenty to complain about with the sound design. We'll get there. But as I mentioned in a previous show, I love what he does with sound. I love how he makes sound a character. I love how he undermines his own dialogue by making the sonic experience sometimes overwhelm what people are actually saying. I think it's on purpose, and I love it. But I digress. Brooks, based on what Adam said, does this movie work? Does he
of
get
course.
it?
I mean, it's Christopher Nolan. He knows what he's doing, like you said. You never get lost in the shuffle. You always know what's going on. And he turns it into a thriller more than anything.
Pacing-wise,
This
he
isn't
does.
necessarily just a drama.
Yeah.
You know, they keep advertising as the 3-hour drama, the R-rated 3-hour drama, but it's got so much more going on, and just the way you get lost in it, and it moves at lightning speed, and it's just...
It is a quick 3 hours, isn't it? It
It's
doesn't
so
feel,
fast.
Yeah, it doesn't feel long.
I would say my only quibble is his huge push for the IMAX experience, which I honestly, for the first time in a Christopher Nolan movie, did not feel it was necessary.
Did you see it in IMAX?
Yes.
Yeah,
did.
me too.
I
We
was
actually were
with
supposed to
Adam.
go the same day, and then crap came up in our lives, as
Oh, yeah, you weren't
tends
there.
to happen, and you had to sell my ticket.
Yeah, that's right.
I did not see it in IMAX, and I don't feel like I missed anything.
Oh, I doubt it.
I felt like the experience was visually saturating
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and overwhelming in the way a Chris Nolan movie should be without IMAX.
And see, I really wish, because I know they showed it to us for the screener, and I couldn't go because I was, it was a school
It was in
night.
35.
And they did 35 millimeter, and I was trying to get you guys a present, and it didn't work out. They were selling the 70 millimeter film strips.
I saw
Oh,
those.
my
And you can get a
goodness.
little plaque. And I was trying to get it, but
Oh, man.
you showed it to me, actually, I
Yeah.
think. And then the moment I hopped on, it was gone. So I did have a
course.
present I was working on.
Oh, that would have been unbelievable.
Yeah, Brooks, I don't even know where they do a 70 millimeter IMAX. Isn't that down like in Arizona? I think
think Arizona has one.
Didn't Luke go or something
California
like that?
has one.
I would love to see something like
I think
this.
there's 17 screens.
It's kind of like when they did the Hateful Eight, and they were supposed to
Yeah.
do like the traveling show, and and I think they did Interstellar too, the same
Yeah.
way. But okay, that means we have to do a road trip.
It is
Someday.
cool that all of those formats are available, and I'm sure the experience is excellent, but I think this film is good enough to see
On
in
any
your little
screen.
podunk hometown theater.
I
Honestly,
wouldn't have-
don't wait.
Well, I was going to say the only reason I didn't go to the press screening is because it was not because it was in 35, but because of the theater.
Yeah.
There are some theaters I will not sit through a 3-hour movie in.
But we saw Absolutely Fabulous there.
Yeah, but that's 90 minutes, and it was absolutely fabulous.
Well, I think this movie is absolutely fabulous.
Oh,
and
it
I,
is.
And I am a Nolan
It's just
apologist.
twice as long.
Yeah, I am a Nolan apologist. I have admitted that on many occasions, and I don't think he has let me down at all with this story.
Never.
It's a story I knew quite a bit about. I haven't read American Prometheus. You're in the middle of reading it now, Adam. I don't know how it relates to the film experience, but I trust him so much, and I've just never been betrayed. Even Tenet. I'm sorry. I
love
loved Tenet. I know that people don't get it and like to say negative
That's
things about it.
because they
but
don't like to have to pay attention.
I guess so. I mean, I've always called him, I've said it on this show before, and I've said it on my other show, that he's the master of the intellectual blockbuster. That's what he does. He's not afraid for his movies to be a little bit brainy. I mean, it works, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And Tenet, I'll never forget it because Tenet I was watching that on HBO Max. The moment I got a phone call saying I had to be quarantined for COVID, I didn't have it, but I had to be quarantined, and then called my boss, and he was not happy with me. Yeah, I remember sitting there and watching that, and everyone had told me, like, oh, it's this, it's that. And I was like, I think I texted you right afterwards, Brooks.
Me
like,
and you.
how do people not think this was like a masterpiece? Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's up there.
Because they're not paying attention.
I know. They don't want to, they're like, oh, there's
They
plot
want
holes.
to
I'm
play
like,
on their phones.
it's a
and-
time travel movie. There's going to be plot holes and everything. That's how you can't have a time travel movie without paradoxes. Even something as amazing as Looper, which does wrap everything up nicely with a bow when you consider there's 3 timelines, still has plot holes. And I will explain that later.
Everyone tries to say that Tenet didn't make any sense, but I knew what was going on before it even got to the
Yeah.
Tenet
the
makes
big
exactly
scene in
the
the
amount
middle.
of sense it's supposed to. It's a movie, and the only
makes
thing
its
that
own
matters
sense.
is that you are able to swallow the whole fish, that it stays internally logical.
I want
That's the
more.
only thing that matters.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it plays by its own rules.
Yeah.
So I do have 2 things to talk about with Oppenheimer I want to get your guys' opinion on. So we talked before about the sound design from Nolan, and I disagree with you. I think sometimes it is an oversight or something like that because they'll complain about it. He'll say it's part of the design process, and then when it comes out on Blu-ray or 4K, it's
sounds
different.
different.
Yeah.
I believe him. I think he's willing to listen to critique, but I believe him. I think it's intentional.
For
I
theaters.
think somebody
I mean-
as exacting as him is not going to let that get out.
It's not the first time
with a
the sound's been
mistake.
changed for home
Anyways, I'm
video.
interrupting you.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
We're having a conversation. So I will say I didn't have that problem whatsoever with this movie.
No.
And there's that scene where he's speaking in front of the class. It has some of the best sound design I've ever seen in a movie. I mean, Brooks, did you think that too?
It's been 2 months.
It's where he's talking to everyone and like all of a sudden like everyone's laughing around him and he's seeing like the flashbacks to like Hiroshima and stuff.
Yeah.
What about the sound design generally, Brooks? Like,
This was
you and I
his-
agree on this.
This was his most easily to watch movie or listen to, I guess you could say.
So, like when you saw Dunkirk, were you frustrated by that, like the way everybody else was, with all the loud?
The only thing I had with Dunkirk was obviously
well, you can't understand
Tom
what Tom Hardy's
Hardy's
saying, but that's
that's on purpose because
that's
he's
just
wearing
Bane.
a mask.
That's just Bane.
And I think Christopher Nolan made a joke that he's going to always cast him as long as he can muffle his voice.
on the beach.
But yeah, this is his most easily understood film.
Meaning that from a
Meaning
sound
you
design
could- yeah.
perspective, yeah.
Yeah, and what's funny is we were talking about this last night with Clark, and he's never seen Dunkirk, so I'm excited to go home today and pull that out and show it to him because that for me actually is my favorite Chris Nolan movie.
It's so good. It's so good. Well, I think this is so good too, and I don't agree. I don't think it's a mistake. I take him at his word, but you're right. He does react to the critique when it comes up. What was your second point?
So my second point was, and this is what was so interesting for me, was that you look at the trailers and everything else, and it's all building up to the atomic bomb. It's like there's so many like. Well, the joke is that because he doesn't use CGI, did he actually make an atomic bomb? And that's a different story. But everything's building up to this and building an explosion, and you see like the ripples across the atoms and everything. And when you get to that moment in the movie, which is arguably the climax,
You would think.
well, I mean, as far as from a storytelling
That's what it-
standpoint, because
yeah.
then it's like where both sides
Yeah,
of the
that's
story
true.
come down. That scene where they set it off is just the bomb going off, completely silent, and then of course the shockwave hits. But the fact that there's this build up, and then you have such a pristine, perfect moment that you don't need sound to. It was like in Last Jedi when they do the Holdo maneuver
Yeah.
and they send the ship, in hyperspace. You could hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
And I was with a bunch of civilians who were on their phones half the time, and even they put their phones down for that scene. But I love the misdirect as far as you thought this is going to be this big pinnacle moment, and it is, but it was brought about in such a different way than you were expecting. And for me, that was, again, the mark of a genius.
So you're saying that as a positive. Okay.
Oh, definitely.
I
No,
thought
that
it
was
was
a good thing,
critical.
yeah.
No, I thought that was brilliant too. The fact that he chose to do that scene in silence, I thought was brilliant because he allowed the visual to overtake the sonic for that one moment. And I thought that was the exact right choice. What about the critique I've seen leveled at this film that there is absolutely no mention of Japanese people? Those perspectives are completely missing from this story. Do you think there's any validity to that critique?
They show where he's talking to the crowd and everyone's cheering, and then he sees the girl starting to melt away, and I'm like, that gets the point across. But
I agree in the sense that the point of the film is the perspective of the U.S. military people.
Yes.
And the way they spoke about Japan, the way they chose what city to bomb was so cavalier and so incredibly removed from humanity that I think the movie kind of had to be too.
you can't get away from
I
it.
think there's validity to the critique, but I also think I understand where he was coming from and why he chose to tell the story solely through American eyes.
And I think you have to also look at what story are we telling? Are we telling the story of
Yes.
the atomic bomb, or are we telling the story of the person? And as much as the atomic bomb is very much a centerpiece of this film, it's not about that. It's about the man in his life who went up to that, and he paid his repercussions for it. I mean, he even said,
He has
"Hey,
blood on his hands."
if I would have known this, I would have done it differently," or I would have said, "Hey." He didn't think there's going to be an arms race because he's like, well, if we have this and everyone knows we have it, we don't need to worry about it. Well, people are stupid, first of all. And, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So when you've got the absolute power, where are you going to go from there? So I think it could have been addressed, yes, but at the same time, that's not what the movie was about. It wasn't about the test. It wasn't about the bomb. It wasn't about the research behind it. It was about the guy who actually made it happen. I see it both ways.
Oh, yeah.
And I just think if it was a movie with a different focus, it would have been more important to have that. But yeah, like you said, Brooks, like when he's in that speech and he sees what's going on, like he can see in his mind's eye what happened in Hiroshima. I mean, that's guilt he's going to have to live with. Well, he lived with the rest of his life.
Yeah.
So.
Like I said about sound design, I feel like it was a choice, and I understand it and support it. I feel like the critique that some have leveled is worth talking about, because certainly there were a lot of lives lost that day, that August 6th, 1945.
And these kind of conversations are good to have. I mean, the only time it becomes a bad conversation is if I come in and say you're wrong for feeling the way you do, and not how I do.
Absolutely.
But that's how everything is in life.
As a piece of film art, though, I agree with your word before. You were referring to another movie, but I think this is a masterpiece. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind this is a masterpiece. It's one of the top 3 films I've seen all year long. I'm going to jump into scores because I think we've said it all. The cast is great. The directing is great. The choices are great. The risks are amazing. This virtuosic storytelling, unbelievable. I'm at 4 stars without doubt. I mean, to me, it's a perfect film. Brooks?
Oh, of course, 4 all the way. I mean, I've seen other people say it. This is the most Nolan movie he's made yet, in the best ways. People pigeonhole him as like an action director, but they forget where he came from with Following and Memento, The Prestige, Insomnia.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
None of those were action movies. They were all story-based, character-based, direction, and
smart.
story.
And smart.
Yes.
He's not afraid to be smart.
He never treats you like an idiot.
We need more smart right now.
Well, and even his superhero movies are character-based.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you go see The Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises or whatever else.
Like, sure, they're superhero movies, but
they're, in a sense, they feel more realistic than, like,
Yes.
of course, like X-Men and stuff because they have the superpowers. But you could see, like, hey, there could be this person like the Joker doing these things because he's being a crazy person doing heists. So
where are you? 2 stars?
of
Adam?
course, yeah.
2
I
stars.
got to split the 4 stars for me. This is in
Split.
my top 3 as well. It's actually my top 2. I just can't decide if this or Across the Spider-Verse is number 1.
I know.
It goes back and forth.
I've got a 3-way tie for me for
What's
number
your
1 this
third
year.
one? Just out of curiosity.
Well, there's Oppenheimer, Across the Spider-Verse, and Mutant Mayhem. It's just so good.
I have to see that
I'm not
movie.
letting
I'm
it-
so
I'm not letting it
tired of
go.
you hearing
And
you
you still
talk
need to see
about
Barbie.
turtles.
Yep.
I'm so
Haven't
tired
seen
of Brooks
Barbie.
talking about turtles. I have to go see that movie.
Just because he hasn't seen it. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, well, I need to see it too because Barbie's in my top 5 as well. So
All right, so 4 stars for me, Adam.
4 stars.
Brooks?
4 stars.
We loved Oppenheimer. If you haven't seen it, if you've managed to avoid it this long, please go now. Go see this film.
The box office doesn't sound like they've missed it, but
No,
you
I
never
know.
know.
Go see it, though.
It did pretty well at the box office.
Oh,
It crossed,
that's
like,
what I
800
mean.
Oh, okay.
That's what he said.
I thought you said it wasn't.
It's
I was like,
making
what are you talking about?
so much money.
Definitely making money. Well, go give it a little more. It's definitely worth it.
needs
When
your
we come
money.
back, we're going to talk about A Haunting in Venice, which is the new Hercule Poirot movie. We'll be right back. And we're back on Big Movie Mouth Off. We're going to talk next about A Haunting in Venice. But first, how about a little taste of the trailer?
Hercule Poirot, I've found something. I've looked at it from every which way. I am the smartest person I ever met, and I can't figure it out, so I came to the second.
You are up to something, my friend.
I've seen a million of these so-called psychics, each one a fake.
I do not believe in psychics.
Come with me to a seance. Spot the con I can't.
Detective, you are here to discredit me, but I can talk to the dead.
I'd give all I have to hear.
Okay, Brooks, tell us what this one's about.
So our supposedly favorite detective, Hercule Poirot.
Poirot.
And I'm sure the French people out there are yelling at us because we said the R wrong.
Has kind of gone into solitude. He's hanging out in Venice. He gets sought out by a best-selling author, Ariadne Oliver, played by Tina Fey, and she wants him to attend a party and a seance to try to debunk Mrs. Reynolds, played by Michelle Yeoh, and wants to debunk her as a fake, but something else may be afoot. Someone winds up dead, and in a classic whodunit, in this case, who cares?
Ouch.
I think Brooks just gave his score right at the very top. Let's jump into this a little bit. So it's the third movie in Kenneth Branagh's study of the Agatha Christie hero, the Belgian detective Hercule Poirot. So the first was Murder on the Orient Express, then they did Death on the Nile, and now Haunting in Venice, all based on Agatha Christie books. I think we can say that we liked the first two, right? You didn't like the first one, or somebody didn't like the first one.
I don't like the first one.
It was fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this goes back to the first one. It's boring, sluggish. You don't care about any of the characters, let alone who dies or why.
Okay, so let's explore that for a second, Brooks, because this movie is a departure from the first two in that it tries to be something other than just a mystery solve. It's got the horror aspect.
I was hoping it would.
Well, at least in terms of the setup, he's dealing with all of the mystery surrounding a murder in a supposedly haunted palazzo in Venice. So there's that aspect
Enrique Palazzo.
Yeah. So there's that aspect of ghost and
Is it
scary
haunted
stuff
also?
Mixed in.
He's trying to decide whether it could or could not be haunted as
Right.
well.
He's dealing with his own
'Cause he
beliefs
doesn't
and
believe
his
them.
own willingness to accept this kind of supernatural stuff at the same time he's trying to solve the murder. Interestingly enough, I saw Death on the Nile the same day that we went to the screener together for
I like Death on the Nile.
because I'd never seen it. So I decided I want to watch it so I'm caught up on the trilogy, right?
Trilogy.
It's not necessary, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to do that. But
It's one character.
yeah, I enjoyed it very much. I still think Death on the Nile is the best of the three.
Oh, it is.
But this one, there's a couple things I want to say about it. And I don't dispute what you're saying about sluggish because I do think it's a very slow burn. And my walkout comment was, it's perfect until the payoff. And I stand by that because I thought from a filmmaking standpoint, I loved that Branagh was so careful about the composition of every single shot. It was almost overly precious how
his
careful
fisheye
he
lens.
was. Yeah, a lot of fisheye lens, a lot of weird upside down cameras. It was designed to be creepy, right? To be unsettling. And I felt like it was so precious, so composed every shot that it almost felt like somebody else was watching it. Like the whole thing was being watched, that even he was being watched as the director. And I thought in terms of ratcheting up the creepiness and the scare factor, intellectually, that was an interesting choice. That worked really well for me. I also think that it's well cast. Tina Fey's great. I mean, she was
playing her Only Murders in the Building character.
She was.
Oh, yeah.
She definitely
But
was.
that's fine. That's what
you
they
had Jamie
wanted.
Dornan as someone you didn't hate. So
True.
I know.
He's
Jamie
getting
Dornan.
so good.
that goes back to my whole thing about people
When
liking
he's
smack
not
on-
being gray, he's fine.
Yeah, like Robert Pattinson and everyone else from Twilight. It's like they're good actors. They
Get
just
them
have
out of those series,
bad projects.
out of those franchises, and they're great.
Yeah, Kristen Stewart's amazing. Just she's not amazing in that because
Because
it was
it's those
a bad
movies.
story. It was
It's not her, it's the movie.
Dracula fan fiction.
I loved the way the movie was constructed. Like I said, I thought it was cast very well. I feel like the payoff just did not work at all.
no.
The first two movies, when he unpacks the crime,
When he gets into his monologue.
it's great. It's so much fun. This one wasn't. It wasn't a big surprise. We're not going to say any more about why, but it just wasn't a big surprise. And even if it hadn't been predictable, it was just kind of wah-wah.
I think
the way
it
that the whole
leaned
thing.
into the supernatural a little too far
Yeah,
to fit in with the
but
other
you said
two
it wasn't
movies
scary
anyway.
enough, so maybe they should
No.
have actually done that more.
Well, it did something that I really hate in movies, and I hate fake jump scares. So if you're gonna have the ghost face hop out of the shower and stab you, that's fine. But when you're doing it where we're just gonna zoom in on something and have a really loud sound just to have a loud sound to make you jump, that
When
annoys the
nothing's
crap out of
happening.
me.
There were way too many of every kind of jump scares, real ones, fake ones, whatever. He leaned on that far too much.
And
in
you don't
this
need to
film.
do that. Like, you can. So, for instance, I for instance loved Talk to Me. I think that was one of my favorite movies of the year as well.
Yeah, it's in there.
I wanted. They've got stories about making prequels and stuff.
The prequel's shot.
Oh, they already shot it.
Oh yeah, they shot it with camera phones.
Oh, never mind then. So I want to see that because it relied on the atmosphere and making it creepy as hell. I mean, that movie is creepy, but it was scary. There was like one or two little jump scares
Yeah.
that made sense for the story, but it wasn't there to like.
There were a few.
like zoom in and all of a sudden the bird flaps or something like that. That kind of stuff annoys me. You mentioned the payoff. So a good whodunit leaves a trail of breadcrumbs for you to follow to get home.
Right.
This one just gave you the whole damn gingerbread house to begin with. I literally, and I'm not joking here, I guessed every single little twist and the ending, even including the little final one you get with someone, 20 minutes in. I knew what was going to happen. There was no surprise. I even went and go pee, like during the part that I knew was going to be a big reveal because I already knew what was going to happen.
I knew who early on. I didn't know all of the ins and outs, obviously, and there's a sub mystery that I hadn't predicted. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, there was. It just goes back to one thing we talked about when we walked out was, okay, is this just a very slavish rendition of the source material, or is this their own thing? And I went back and the up the original source material was her book called Halloween Party.
Yeah.
It's completely different. Like some of the characters are the names.
And probably so much better.
Yeah, but so basically they took this basic story and then decided, hey, we're going to do our own thing and make us clever. It's like, well, you weren't clever. And Knives Out did it so much better. And Knives Out is a riff on Agatha Christie's characters.
All right. I'm so glad you brought up Knives Out because I do want to talk about something a little bit meta with you guys right now. Are we at the point in Hollywood at the moment where this kind of movie has reached its sell-by date? By which I mean we're a little bit saturated with it, with Knives Out, with 3 of these. As an audience, we're being trained to try to guess the entire time. We're watching every word, every shot, every little thing that happens. And you have to earn those payoffs. They have to be meaningful. They have to surprise us. They have to be exciting. They have to be intellectually rewarding for those that have been paying attention from the beginning. And I feel like Knives Out is doing that better than these Poirot movies are right now.
Scream movies are doing it better.
Well, I wouldn't know about that because
but they are.
I would scream if I had to go to one. But I mean, you take my point, right?
Yes.
I mean, there's other people that are doing this kind of thing better, which makes this thing, which is kind of a legacy.
It's like, why are we doing this?
Right. It's a legacy property that needs to be kind of on the very top shelf of this genre, and I don't feel like it is at the moment.
Well, Quentin Tarantino also did it better with his Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
Because that was Agatha Christie-ish. That was his whole point with that movie, was to make his own Agatha Christie mystery. So,
I mean, he did it well. I mean, that was the whole point. In the movie, what's great about the Hateful Eight, which is funny, we just mentioned this a couple minutes ago with Oppenheimer, it's not how it starts out. He starts out as just a stereotypical cowboy movie, outlaws, rustlers, and everything.
It's a spaghetti western that turns into
spaghetti
a
western,
mystery,
and then you have that intermission which you're supposed to have had during the 70 millimeter, and now it's like almost like 10 Little Indians. It's very reminiscent of that actually. It's like, oh wait, what's really going on here? And I loved how he did that. Do we need to maybe take the character and do brand new things with it? Because it feels like if we're trying to recreate something like if I told the story of Adam and Eve and you're surprised that the snake came out and tempted Eve, I mean, that'd be like, why is that a surprise? We know that's the story. Yeah. Do we need to take these characters and put them in a new atmosphere or a new plot device? Because what we're doing right now isn't really working.
Maybe so, because like I said, I feel like this character deserves better. The style and the look and feel that Branagh is so good at. I mean, think about...
He makes good-looking movies.
He makes good-looking movies. It's a gorgeous film. Think of the first Thor. That movie was gorgeous to look at. That's thanks to him. It's thanks to the Marvel ethic, too, but he did that. That was his eye. And I think these movies are really, really pretty, and I think he makes interesting choices as a director. The fisheye lens, you said it kind of joking, but he didn't overdo it, and when it happened, it ramped up the creep factor. But this movie didn't know what it wanted to be, a mystery or a horror flick. It didn't do either very well. I think that the scares didn't work and the payoff of the mystery didn't work. That being said, I love Branagh as this character. I love his casting. He has good ensemble casts that are really fun, and it looked fantastic. So I would not call it a failure. Like, I walked out saying, I enjoyed this. I was with you. We sat right next to each other, and I so I know what you thought. But tell everyone else. I mean, did you enjoy it at least? Was there anything in it for you, Brooks?
Not really. No, yeah. I just sat there waiting to see if it just was going to end or not. And then when it finally started to wrap up, I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is the end. But my exit comment was that with this one, he traded fun for morose, and it just doesn't work.
It needs to be fun.
Yeah.
I think that's a shorter version of what I've been trying to say.
Like Knives Out. I mean, they need to be fun. It needs the rewatchability factor as well. I will never watch this movie again.
Yeah.
When Glass Onion, I mean, we know I'm not a huge Knives Out fan. I've seen it once, ever. And I don't want to watch it again. Glass Onion, I love more than Knives Out. And I wanted to watch that again immediately.
Yeah.
So it needs to have that. And it goes with what you guys have been saying about leaving the breadcrumbs. And you need to be able to rewatch it and put things together and be like, oh, you know.
And that's what I love
He never
about-
allows it.
And that's what's so great about Ryan Johnson, with Glass Onion and stuff, is that he respects your intelligence and he wants you to come to the same conclusion that Benoit Blanc does because he doesn't think you're stupid. Mm-hmm. And I don't think so much that Kenneth Branagh thought we were stupid with this. It was just, I don't think he knew where to go with it.
The thrills were cheaper
yeah.
than they are in a
it's a
Ryan Johnson movie.
Gorgeous
also-
movie.
Yeah.
It's also weirdly the shortest of the
It was,
Hercule
yeah. It's only
movies.
103
And it
minutes.
still felt
but-
long to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we're bashing on this. I had a decent time with it.
Yeah.
I'm never going to watch it again.
Yeah.
I have no desire whatsoever.
A one and done, but
But I enjoyed my time there. I don't know. Maybe I just think we're spoiled by Ryan Johnson.
I think it's very telling that in a review for Haunting in Venice, a Kenneth Branagh movie about Hercule Poirot, that we're talking so much about Glass Onion. I think that really does say a lot. So let's get to scores. Let's put our money on the table here. Brooks, what's your score for Haunting in Venice?
for a split second, I was going to be nice and maybe go 2 stars, but I think I'm just going to go with 1.5 because, like, it's one of those movies, too, where I didn't like it to begin with. I didn't like it when it was over. The more I talk about it, the less I like it. So,
1.5.
yeah, I'm going to go with 1.5.
Adam, where are you?
I'm 2.5. 'Cause, like I said, I know we've been bashing on it a lot because there's a lot that had problems with it, but I did walk out and I enjoyed myself. It was a decent hour, 40 minutes, but there was just too much there. And again, it goes back to, are we spoiled by Knives Out and other whodunits like that?
We're not spoiled. We
No, I was
just
gonna say
know
there.
we deserve better.
Yeah, and again, we're not spoiled. We just, like you said, we know what is out there and what can be done. So let's take a really cool character like this who is endearing and who's smart and who you enjoy and do them the right way.
We may not be spoiled, but I think we are saturated, at least to the point that you can't get away with something that's just merely solid. It has to be
Yeah.
special. And I think this movie is just solid. So I'm going to split the 2 uprights of you guys and be at 2 stars. I enjoyed it. It's definitely not bad. There's a lot of great craft, great acting. It just, in its class, it doesn't rise high enough for me. So I'm at 2 stars. Brooks?
1.5.
Adam?
2.5.
All right. That's our feeling about Haunting in
I thought you were going to
Venice.
come in higher than me.
I did too.
No.
I was like,
I
I
enjoyed
thought
it,
he was
but
going 3.
2 is not a bomb.
No.
No. I just thought
Yeah.
the way we were talking about it previously, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, he's going to enjoy it more than I did.
Well,
least
you know,
a
things
B.
things change. We walk out of the theater, and then several days go by.
Yeah.
My opinion goes through several different permutations.
Like
but-
I mentioned.
All right, let's take another break. We're going to come back. We're going to stay on the adaptation train, except we're going to talk about our guilty pleasures, bad adaptations. We'll be right back. And we're back on Big Movie Mouth Off. I'm Jeff Counts.
I'm Adam McDonald.
And I'm Brooks Bird.
It's our Guilty Pleasures section. This is the Bad Adaptations edition. So we're talking about films that have been adapted from written material. We had 2 on the show already, Haunting in Venice and Oppenheimer. So much, guys, of Hollywood. It's based on books and plays and graphic novels and all sorts of stuff. This is a topic we could easily give a long list of movies that really are too good to be a guilty
mentioned
pleasure.
some.
There's also some bad stuff out there, and I'm going to go first so that Brooks doesn't steal. He claims it's not possible, but
won't.
I'm going to go back to 2017, an adaptation of one of my favorite book series ever.
Seriously?
Is yours The Dark
You
Tower?
are steerily mine.
I stole Brooks.
You did it. Yes.
I stole Brooks.
I totally knew you were going to do that, Brooks. That's why I'm not a Dark Tower fan, so I let you have that.
Amazing.
Well, let's both talk about it. So
We both like it.
this
Maybe.
book series is one of my favorite
Oh,
things.
yeah.
I mean,
I'm obsessed. I went on a year-long journey. I spent a month putting together a reading list of all of the interconnected books in order
Yeah.
of how they connect
Yeah.
to each other and spent a year reading all of them.
Well, they're up in my library. I've
So-
got hardcovers of all of them.
Yes.
It's been 20 years since I've read them, but I absolutely love this series. And just seeing it come to life,
Yes.
seeing that world made in any way.
Thank you.
I
Finally.
I loved. Is it what I hoped for? Could I have
Oh.
imagined somebody doing it better? Of course. But that movie was roundly hated by everyone, mostly by
us.
Stephen King fans, except for you and me. That's my guilty pleasure. I love The Dark Tower from 2017. First and foremost, Idris Elba as Roland. Come on.
He was amazing.
It was great casting. I thought he was great.
Even McConaughey
And
is
McConaughey is the Man,
the
in,
Man
Black.
in Black. I think he worked 4 days.
Honestly,
on
it was
set.
a role he was made for. He's the perfect snarky jerk. And that's what
I
that
just
guy
rewatched it again like about a month ago.
I can't believe it, Brooks. We were
Of all movies.
We were just
Out
off
of all
mic.
movies.
Well, counts
That's
for the steal
hilarious.
this episode.
Yes,
Brooks and I
we did
both have as our guilty pleasure The Dark Tower 2017. All right, Adam, top that.
What was interesting was we were talking about 50 Shades of Grey earlier. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, my God.
No. That movie actually made me very angry. I've been going back and forth between 3 movies, and I'm very, it's hard to decide which one I want to do.
Well, why don't you name 2 since we had the same one?
Okay, cool. So one of them was, and it's kind of an adaptation, but it's not. It's Blade 2. And the reason why I say it's guilty pleasure is it's not universally well liked. But I'm a huge Del Toro fan. I love everything he does. I think he did a fantastic job of taking the Blade storyline and taking it in different places. They made the vampires more human in a sense. Mm-hmm. I mean, everything about it is it's a blast. It's a ton of fun. It's energetic. It's Wesley Snipes being the same character but in kind of a different universe, but done with that Del Toro twist.
Yeah.
So that one, it's not really based off any particular Blade graphic novel I can think of, but just adaptation.
Yeah.
So that was the easy one, but I think I'm gonna have to go with this because it's just so insane and so out there, and we're not gonna get the sequel this year. The original David Lynch Dune.
Oh my God, I almost went there.
So
I was really close to going.
Yeah, so it is just the weirdest. And we've talked about it before on
this
sucks
podcast. In so
it's
many
horrible,
great ways.
But it's like I think even David Lynch goes back and he's like, I was on way too much.
You have to
acid back
see
then.
it to believe it.
You do.
You literally do, and you probably should be on some kind of thing that is altering your mind a bit, whether that's whatever poison you choose. I mean, you got Sting, you got bad special effects. It's worth watching the scene where they fight with the power suits on, their little armor things.
Awful.
It's just it's so wonderful, but it also is he took a book that you shouldn't have been able to film and managed to do it in the strangest way possible, and I still want to watch it over and over again. I mean, I don't want to watch it every other day, but once a year is a good thing to catch
That's
up
a
on
really
that.
good choice. I almost went there, so it seems like we would have been bumping into each other a lot on this episode. I can't believe I stole from you, Brooks. That is,
and of all of the movies.
I'm super excited we agree on this, though.
Oh, yeah.
I think that movie
fires
is so much fun.
things in my brain when I watch it.
I just wanted so badly, like I said, to see that world made real.
Well, and people hate so much that it pulls from here, pulls from there, references this, references that. That's what I loved because I understood what was going on.
They made the
because
movie,
I've read all of those books.
They knew they were only going to get one shot at it.
Oh, yeah.
And they just went for it.
I mean, there's so much from Black House with the Breakers.
Exactly.
And I was just to see that on screen,
Yeah.
which isn't even part of the core series.
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
Well, the world disagrees with us, but
made
maybe
me
some of the
happy.
listeners will go add some positive scores to the Dark Tower 2017.
I don't know. They're not getting paid.
So go.
That's true.
Your 2 guilty pleasures?
So Blade 2 and the original Dune from the 80s.
And Brooks, you and I tied on
The Dark Tower.
2017 with Idris Elba.
That was
Matthew
2017?
McConaughey. It
Holy
was.
crap.
It was. It seems longer ago.
It does.
Well, I think we've all had a lot of things happen in our lives.
It seems
in
like
the last,
2007
7 years.
to me, but all right. Well, we just added 3 films to your list. We're going to come back after one last break, and we're going to talk about coming attractions. Just give us a minute. We'll be right back with you. And we're back one last time on this episode of Big Movie Mouth Off. Coming attractions now. Brooks, what are you looking forward to?
I've got technically 2, but they're in kind of the same universe.
I'll allow it.
Sort of. They're separate universes, same character. So we've got Monarch, Legacy of Monsters coming to Apple TV. We got Godzilla. It ties into all of the movies we've gotten with the Godzilla and King Kong. Kurt Russell and his kid playing the same character as a younger and an older version. And then we've also got, in December, Godzilla -1, which is part of the Japanese series. So
A lot of Godzilla
2
coming out.
Godzillas.
Yes, I feel like you just mentioned 8 Godzillas, but that's... I'm going to go next, Adam, because I want to riff on something you mentioned, the Godzilla movie series. And the first one, 2014, was directed by Gareth Edwards, who also did Rogue One. And my coming attraction is this movie starring Denzel's kid called The Creator. Looks
I've heard
like
of that
some
before. Really?
unbelievable sci-fi. I can't believe you've missed
With
these
the
two.
AI
everything-
kid, with the robot child.
Yeah, I mean, well, everything's so weird right now with
Yeah.
with the Hollywood and everything else that there's so many things I'm just not paying attention to because who knows when or if we'll ever see it.
Currently slated to come out at the end of September. Let's see what happens. It looks phenomenal. And it's Gareth Edwards, so I mean, I trust him. So I'm really looking forward to The Creator. What's on your list, Adam?
I just think it's funny we keep going back to Oppenheimer because you bring up Godzilla, which you also, if you've never seen the original Japanese version of Godzilla, you need to go watch that one because because it plays completely different than the
Oh,
American
yeah.
version. So I'm staying on my kick of video games and going back to your one. Next week, or as we record this next week, but Mortal Kombat 1
Ooh, yeah.
comes out. What's really cool is they're doing more stuff like with time travel. So they got different characters playing different ages. It's kind of resetting the whole timeline based off of the time lapse from the last game. And it's not really a cameo, but he is like a different version you can play of Johnny Cage. Is Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yep.
Who is their original inspiration.
Who was the original?
I only
yeah.
know this because I just watched the Ed Boon Hot Ones episode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
As this comes out to listen to, I'll probably be playing it because I got the Ultimate Edition to play it early. But I played the demo. It's a lot of fun. Stereotypical Mortal Kombat stuff. It's got Megan Fox in it. She's playing Natara, who was the vampire in the movie that got killed by Kung Lao's hat in the first 2 seconds she was in there.
Wait, there was a movie?
Yeah, it was. It was really amazing. Much better than that one Scream movie that doesn't exist. So that's what I'm excited for.
Oh, yeah. James Wan directed the opening scene.
Yeah.
Because it was so much better than the rest of it.
We're not disagreeing with that at all. But that's what I'm looking forward to.
This is a last episode review, I think.
It was like one of the first games to actually do a story mode for a fighting game. So.
Well, I think all the fighting games have learned from that, actually. They're
yeah.
doing campaigns, the ones that want to succeed anyways. All right, so Brooks, one more time, your coming attraction.
Godzilla -1 and Monarch, Legacy of Monsters.
And I'm looking forward to The Creator. And Adam?
Mortal Kombat 1.
All right, well, there you have it. That's another episode 9 in the books, A Big Movie Mouth Off. Thank you boys so much for your patience while I worked through my crazy summer. The good news is, though, I'm now living in Salt Lake City again.
Fine.
Which means we get to go to screeners together. We're going to be able to do a lot more regular programming on Big Movie Mouth Off.
You've been warned.
Yeah, you've been warned. Watch your feeds. We're going to be in there a lot more often.
And this also means that we can rotate who's bringing the flask.
We definitely can. Exactly. We all forgot today, but we'll take care of that for episode 10. All right, guys. I love you. Thank you so
Love you
much.
too.
I'm Jeff Counts.
I'm Adam McDonald.
And I'm Brooks Bird.
Thanks for listening to us on Big Movie Mouth Off. Big Movie Mouth Off was produced and edited by me, Jeff Counts, and co-hosted by Adam McDonald and Brooks Bird. Our theme music is written by Brian Z. Richards, and this show is dedicated to the memory of our founders, Jeff Michael Weiss, and my partner in crime for over 5 years, the incomparable Jimmy Martin.